The following is a presentation of Stewed Productions.
All right, welcome to Thursday, everybody. You see the man with the bunny ears there. You see me. Is that okay? This is our feed, right? That's me, my big mug right there in the middle of the screen. Welcome to Thursday. I'm Josh. You're watching and listening and experiencing Liquid Lunch. We are doing it a little differently today, a little remote. Me from Studio, Kennedy from Studio South. Oh, wait. Should I go ahead and introduce you before we introduce our... Let's do that real quick and knock it out.
Hold on.
He's got it. Okay.
I'm not ready for the introduction.
Okay, so seconds before the show starts, we're talking with... I don't want to spoil the big reveal of our guest, so I'll give him 15 more seconds to... he had to answer the door. You didn't have a sign outside the door that said no deliveries between noon and 1?
I shouldn't, and they'll let anybody in.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Who's there? Hey, Mike. How's it going?
He literally came in right at noon.
Okay. Are y'all brewing
Perfect
today
timing.
or something, or what's going on?
No, I'm giving him boxes because he's moving. Maybe.
Moving.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well,
let's move on. I was in a hurry and I did this, so I can't do this thing.
That's Friday. Is that First of all, your glass looks a little... don't let that dirty glass mafia see that. They've been killing people lately online. A couple of posts in the last couple of days. You see bubbles on the side of the glass, and they just give them hell.
Oh.
Hold that up. Maybe we'll get more eyeballs on the show. I know if Jeffrey's watching. Hold that up. Do you have a dirty glass?
I don't have a dirty glass.
Hold it into the camera. Hold it right in front of your face.
It's literally right over my keyboard.
Yeah, there's bubbles in there. That's not a beer clean glass.
Okay.
All right.
Let's move on.
All right. Well, everybody, that's should I introduce you, or are we done with that now? Are we past it?
You can introduce me if you want.
Okay, everybody, it's Kennedy.
Hey, how's it going? I'm Kennedy.
What up, Chris? That's what I was born into. What up, Chris?
Are you going to chug? Do it. Are you going to chug? Oh, the audio's a little delayed. So this is going to be half chug, half chug, half chug, half chug, half chug. Yeah. Okay, good. See, better technique now. Although most of that...
What?
You got more angle on your chug, so that's good. You were trying to do too much. The voices you hear cheering Kennedy along all the way from the fair city of Dallas, all the way north of here. Community Brewing. Jamie, Corey, how are you guys?
Excellent.
How are things in Dallas? Well, let's get right into it because it's the coronavirus in the room, right? It's the hopefully not in the room. Hold on. Okay, no, I'm good. We're clear. We're in interesting times right now. Last night I was doing watching the Mavericks game, and I don't know if you guys got to see it or not, but right there in the beginning of the third quarter, they announced the postponement of the NBA season, and so now we're all, I don't know, it makes everybody nervous. So now we're all locked away in rooms drinking beer. And, anyway, how are things in Dallas? I guess I just brought the tone way down.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot like the rest of the country. We're, figuring out how to deal with it. I think just, the measures people are taking are just to slow down the spread of this virus. My dad's an immunologist, and he's like, this is going to be going on for a long time. If you're going to get it, you're probably going to get it at some point, but let's just kind of spread how fast it's spread so that we don't just, overwhelm our system for dealing with illnesses.
So much like the distribution of beer, let the brewers be able to keep up with demand or distribution, right?
Yeah, seriously, they'll let the doctors be able to keep up with it. Yeah, for sure.
So,
they canceled St. Patty's Day parade.
I think here, in the Dallas beer world, it's sort of in this, weird state of, are people going to freak out? Is everything going to be canceled? Do we need to alter our on-premise operations in any sort of way. You know, and we've seen a lot of the bigger events that we're involved in, like St. Patrick's Day on Greenville Avenue here in Dallas, which is a huge event that's now canceled. We've seen a lot of these promoters that are sort of just waiting for feedback from the city and CDC to figure out if it's, you know, irresponsible for them to hold these large gatherings. And so as of now, we've got a few big ones on the horizon that are up in the air. Big Texas Beer Festival is coming up the end of March, which is, I think, the biggest beer festival in Dallas. It's a 2-day event. It's huge. As of now, I know that they're proceeding as planned, with some precautions, obviously. We'll see if that changes in the next few weeks. We've also got Craft Brewers Conference on the horizon in April, which is one of the biggest, you know, get-togethers in our industry, conferences, you know, in our industry. And so as of now, no news of cancellation, but, you know, everybody's sort of just waiting for, you know, to see how these next weeks and months kind of sort themselves out. But on our end, man, you know, I think it's just, we're trying to keep up with business as usual and not freak out.
Yeah, right? Yeah. Well, we're all, for the most part, young, and so we have that on our side. Yeah, I'm mainly just concerned about keeping the production crew healthy so we can keep beer flowing.
Yeah, it's Mark Cuban said it really well last night. He's like, it feels like we're in. This is stuff you see in a movie. It doesn't feel like real life. It's weird how this is playing out. But you know, and it breaks your heart to see all these things canceled. But then at the same time, you know that some of that stuff, it's for the best. But you can't have something canceled without the word can, and you've got beer in cans that you can get at the store. Hey,
there you go.
So,
right side for sure.
Yes.
And you know, we'll see if we can't drink enough beer to. You know.
Yeah. Has anybody tested to see if you can drown it yet?
Not recommended. I don't think.
How does it get affected by dry hopping? That's what I want.
Yeah, very interesting. I don't know.
Yeah.
Your dad.
Yeah, right.
Wouldn't that be awesome if we found out that there was a component of beer that was the thing that we didn't know was going to take this thing out?
I mean, we're sitting here in our lab right now. And
I'll get Mark on it.
Straight to the top of the list.
Yeah. Speaking of things in cans and beer in cans, this is a beer drinking show and a beer talking show, but we've done some talking, and we should add in the drinking side. So, hey, Kennedy, do you know what time it is? Are you ready to look at your watch as we coordinate all this? I don't know where he went. We've lost. There we go. All right.
It's time for your favorite segment and mine here on Liquid Lunch. This is
What you drinking?
good.
There we go. So on today's show, we have to talk about what we are drinking. And in fact, I picked up a mixed, I don't normally do the mixed 6-pack when I run into the store. I like to go in for a single beer, try it, analyze it, be professional about this. But last night, they had a bunch of good beers there. I'm like, you know what? I need a little variety in my life. So starting out with the Southern Star, speaking of beer in cans, there's Strawberry Blonde, lovely, refreshing spring type, since we're right on the cusp of spring. Nice little beer with their Bombshell Blonde with a little kiss of strawberry if you're into fruity things like that. Man, a lovely color.
Looks like it.
Yeah. So delightful. Kennedy, I don't know if we can hear you now. Sounds like we can't. There.
I don't think you can hear me, can you?
Now we can.
No.
We couldn't, but now yes.
You guys can hear me?
Now we can. When you open your mouth and talk, that's. What are you drinking?
Okay. The problem is I don't think anybody else can hear me. It's just you guys, so I got to figure this out.
Okay. Well, then just hold up your can, and I'll do play by play. So, as we're looking at comments and things like that. Okay, look in front of us. Oh, let's see. Oh, Texas Lager. If only I knew two people on this call that could tell us all about this beer. Oh wait, Jamie, Corey. Oh, he's also got the Muy Caliente. Are we going to do all these right now? Typical Kennedy style, just throwing it all out there right at the beginning. subtlety, not his. Anyway, all right. So Jamie, tell us about Texas Lager that Kennedy is drinking.
Yeah. So long time ago, we had Texas Helles was our German lager, and we right when Trump was getting elected, and he was talking about bad hombres, and I was like, man, we got to brew a Mexican lager and call it Bad Hombre. And we did just that. It's about 10 Plato, 4% alcohol, Mexican corn lager. So we're using about 20% flaked maize, 80% German Pils malt, our house lager strain, and all volatile middle fruit hops. Pretty simple recipe, but super refreshing, light, crisp, low calorie, and it was an instant hit in the tap room. And Kevin, my partner, co-founder of Community, approached me one day, and he's like very hesitantly asked me, "What do you think about maybe replacing Helles with Bad Hombre and calling it Texas Lager?" And he figured I would hate this idea, but I'm like, "Yeah, that's great. It's a much better beer. It's a more approachable beer. People don't know what in the hell Helles is." Yeah. That was one of the whole impetus to change the name, because people kind of like wit beer. That you hear like wit beer and whatever. Helles is in that same category.
Yeah.
So that was the birth of Texas Lager.
Yes. Well, yeah, that's the thing. A lot of people you've been drinking it or something very similar to a Helles for a long time, but that it's like Helles. It's not one of those terms that you hear much about, but delicious beer and summertime beer, great for cookouts and food pairings and craft beer conversions, all that kind of good stuff. It's like a real. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely become like the go-to beer here at the brewery. The all occasions, the breakfast beer or lunch beer. Also good at dinner, or before bed, in bed, whatever it may be. But it's just really approachable, very unoffensive, very appealing. You didn't even mention it, I guess, very modest, but took gold at GABF last year, which was pretty rad.
Nice.
I really I love this beer, and I don't know if I've ever told you this, but we're getting ready to go into the award ceremony at GABF, and everybody's talking about our entries and, what do we think will do well? And I'm like, man, I don't know. Texas Lager seems like a long shot. Look, a lager category it's competitive. Obviously, it's very difficult to make a very good lager. And I'm not saying that Jamie's not a talented brewer, but it's just a competitive field. Yeah. And sure enough, the gold medal comes up and everybody's just like losing their shit out there. But it's deserving of the award. It's clean, it's crisp. And the cool thing is you get a lot of people, whether it be out in the market or here at the tap room, that undoubtedly come in and they're like, hey, I'm looking for something like Miller Lite or Bud Light or Coors Light or something like that. I don't drink IPAs. I don't care about stouts. Sour beer is not even a thing on my radar. So, you hand them a Texas Lager and they're like, I didn't really put it together that craft beer and craft brewers are doing stuff like this. It's really approachable and an everyday sort of beer. So it's been an awesome beer to have in our portfolio, and it's grown a lot. Yeah.
I want to go back. So there was a little more to the story of Texas Lager, and I want to give a shout out to my friends Amos and Brian at ABGB. That Hombre, the idea for it started when they at GABF. Those guys are masters at lagers. They, I don't know how many gold medals in a row they have won for German style Pils. But anyways, they had one at GABF at their booth called New American Girlfriend. And it was a Japanese style rice lager is what they called it. So we absolutely loved it, me and my guy Eric that was here at the time. And so we came back and brewed a 30-barrel batch of a rice lager. And then later on, when the Bad Hombre thing happened, I was like, oh, let's do it with corn too. We preferred the flavor of the corn. And the other add-on to what Corey said, this placed gold in the session beer category, which is an even tougher category to put it in, but it doesn't fit anywhere else. So basically you have to say it's the lower alcohol version of another style of beer, which in this case was an American style Pilsner. So for every entry in this category, so I'm a judge at GABF, so I'm familiar with this process, and it's a lot of legwork by the judges because you'll have 12 beers in front of you in the first round, and it'll be like, this is a session style robust porter, this is a session style American, style lager like Texas lager. So you have to go back through the categories and read about every category. Does it actually fit in that category? Is it a representation of that? So it was definitely a long shot to put it in that, but that's the only place it fit neatly.
It I don't know, from an observer standpoint, it seems as though at the beginning of the craft beer movement, especially here in Texas, everything, people wanted to get away from what the big guys were doing. It's like, okay, they make these beers. We're going to come in and do West Coast IPAs, and we're going to do big stouts and things that they don't even go near, right? They're afraid of all that flavor. But now, after we've had a little bit of time to develop and everything, it's like, you know what? We're going to do what they've always said they're doing, but we're going to do it way better, and actually put the craft in the beer that, boom, check this out. And like, I don't know. I mean, I don't guess scale will ever be a thing that craft brewers even want to. I guess a whole different thing, right? But as far as pound for pound, beer for beer, put your gold medal, GABF gold medal winner up against whatever they got, and see how people enjoy it. And I think you'll see a lot of people that have never thought about drinking a craft beer going for the craft beer. So
I will say this about Texas lager.
Oh, there's Kennedy again. Hey, yeah.
Yeah, I think I got it. I think I worked out.
Yeah,
it's an easy chugging beer.
As far as approaching, craft beer and just saying we're only going to do these styles, I think that's, some brewers do that, but not all do. And I mean, from the beginning of my career, I've always said there's a reason that some of these beers are classic. It's because a lot of people like them and the flavors really work. So, like at my old brew pub, the Covey, I did a Vienna lager, and the very first competition I ever entered, I got a gold at World Beer Cup with Vienna lager. And it's just a classic style. It's nothing crazy about it. There's clean malt. There's nice touch of German hops. And it was by far one of my favorite beers I've ever made. And it was everybody's favorite beer at the restaurant. I couldn't keep it in stock. And, it was nothing crazy. People loved IPAs. People love this and that. But, a Maibach, a Hefeweizen, Dunkelweizen, you do them well and you do them locally, it's going to be way fresher than anything that's flown over the pond.
Yeah. Yeah, and Texas lager is one of those beers where you look down, you've had 4 or 5 of them, and you're like, oh yeah, I'm really enjoying this beer. It kind of it's one of those beers you don't have to, it's not up front like begging for your attention while you're drinking it, but then you're like, man, I've been having the best time of my life here drinking this, So I'm going to marry this one. That's like you just figured it out. I don't know. Anyway. That's maybe I'm reading too much into people.
Dude, new campaign for Texas lager right there. I'm 6 lagers deep. I'm going to marry this beer.
It's also crawfish. It's one of those. It's like a go-to crawfish beer. I don't know.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of heated debate about what beer goes best with crawfish, and I'm like, go with a lager. I don't know. It just seems like, I don't know. I guess it depends on your approach to crawfish. Kennedy, are you a crawfish fan, Kennedy?
I am a crawfish fan.
What's your
love me some crawfish.
We're smack dab in the middle of crawfish season. So
yeah.
Do you have a go-to crawfish beer?
Yeah, it's definitely a lager, and I think this Texas lager, I could probably drink about 15 of these, and eat about 20 pounds of crawfish.
And then nobody go. We're going to need to quarantine you after that.
And then, I'll be very. This is an important thing. Then I find a ride home.
Roll you home, dude. Yeah, we'd need to quarantine you after that.
I'll Uber.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so the original reason the original reason I wanted to have you on the show today is just because I want to hear all about community and everything you guys do. But specifically, you have some cool events coming up that with the caveat of everything that's going on in the world right now. But still, your artists and your support of the arts scene there in Dallas. We were going to talk about that a bit. Let's get into that before we forget and start being too silly, because I want to make sure we talk about that, because I thought that's super cool.
Yeah, sure. So community, as a brewery, we've always supported local arts, local artists, local musicians in any way that we can. We have a big tour and open house every Saturday where we have local artists out and they display their artwork. We have local musicians that play at the brewery every week. Once a month, we do a pop-up gallery here in our tap room where we clear out all the furniture and we bring in like anywhere from 30 to 50 artists to display their artwork. And so we've always believed that it's important that, to support that culture in your city. It really adds to the fabric and the identity and the personality of your city, right? As does beer. There's a lot of overlap between the beer community and the artist community or artistic community. So a while back, the Dallas office of cultural affairs, which is essentially the body of people who are in charge of all public art installations in Dallas. So a lot of like the big murals and sculptures throughout the city, approached us in sort of an open-ended way, just asking if, knowing that we support the arts, if there was a way that we could collaborate with the city. And so we kicked around a few ideas, and what really got traction was the idea of doing, good graphic, of doing a collaborative beer, right? And so Texas Lager being something, we settled on doing Texas Lager as the style for this because it's such an approachable beer, because we wanted something that everybody could get behind. It'd be nice to do something that's like a super niche sort of beer, whether it be like a barrel-aged beer or a sour beer or a, something really niche. But we wanted people to be able to get behind it and enjoy it, regardless of your beer drinking experience. So we decided to work together to bring local artists out to do, and basically submit representations of what community means to them. And we had a panel, and we kind of narrowed down the field to 3 artists who, we then adapted their artwork to cans. And the idea is to, first of all, bring attention to the art scene here and to Dallas Arts Month, which kicks off in April.
Yeah.
Secondly, to create a charitable movement, so the proceeds from the sales of this beer go back to support the local arts community here. And lastly, to really just strengthen that relationship between the brewery and the arts community. So, it's been a really cool process working with these 3 super talented artists. Yeah, I'm gonna have a beer, dude. Yeah. So, Jefferson, Muncie, Angela Faz, and Camera Hinojosa. Cheers. They've been awesome to work with, man. I think a lot of them are super excited to see their artwork on cans that are headed out to not only retail, right? So grocery stores and liquor stores and bars across the city, but also they're being featured at a lot of these arts-oriented venues, like the AT&T Performing Arts Center, the Salmon's Art Gallery. I mean, I don't even know how many of them. I think there's like 8 or 9 bigger art venues that are like showcasing this beer throughout the rest of March and through April. So it's just an exciting project, and hopefully it's something that we continue to do over the years and to continue to grow. So yeah,
that's super cool. Let's see the Majestic, the Nasher, AT&T Performing Arts Center, Moody Performance Hall, Salmon Center for the Arts, Nasher Sculpture Center, easy for me to say, Dallas Arts District Foundation, and then all over the DFW area.
Yeah, and then we also have a big showcase event that we'll be featuring this beer at, assuming everything goes according to plan. But the Dallas Fest is a big arts and music festival here May 1st.
Okay.
Brings out about, last year was like over 20,000 people. So as of now, the plan is to feature this beer at that festival as well. And if all goes according to plan, it'll be there. And if not, we'll figure something else out.
Okay. Yeah, it's really everything's just kind of, as of now. You have to kind of phrase everything as of now. Now, obviously, I think this is super cool, and I love the support of local supporting local, and one genre of art supporting another genre of art. And it's like when you have musicians and even the food trucks and everybody at a brewery, and it is a community thing for sure. So that's awesome. And
yeah.
Go ahead.
And I apologize if I missed this. Sometimes I miss things because I'm doing a million things. The kickoff party tonight.
Yeah,
it's still happening.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay. I mean, what the?
I didn't mention it. So yeah, tonight we debut the beer. We will have all three artists out displaying their work. We will have prints of the actual can artwork for sale, with proceeds going back to support the arts. We've got a bunch of specialty beers on tap tonight. Proceeds from sale, not just this beer, but all beer tonight in the tap room will go back to support the arts. We've got live music and food trucks and that whole deal. And yeah, it's on. We're doing it for sure. We've got plenty of opportunities for people to wash their hands here and stand up their hands and whatnot. So, but yeah, it's looking like we'll have a good crowd for sure. And we're excited.
So I am in no means a doctor or anything of the sort, but I would think a brewery would be one of the best places to go to because, they're one of the cleanest places.
That's true.
Yeah. The inside of those tanks is the cleanest thing, though. You don't get inside of that.
Just gonna go. Yeah, that's. That's the thing, though. It's like all of this. I mean, I don't know. It's a weird. We're in weird times, like we said before. But the fact that you guys have so many packaged beers that, if we do have to bear through a time where we can't get together, physically, like in the same place, you got the beers you can take home, isolate. I don't know, Skype somebody, just having a nice long chat, goof around and talk. You guys got, I don't know, what do you have, like 8 beers in cans? Did I count? Or let's see. I had them in front of me.
Yeah, it's probably closer to 18 or 20.
Oh.
I'd have to look at this year's portfolio, but yeah, I mean, I think it's close to 15 packaged beers throughout the course of the year between our core beers, our seasonal beers, our small batch series, our barrel aged stuff. We've really, in the last couple of years, diversified our portfolio and have been cranking out a pretty impressive selection of. I mean, I still sometimes am in disbelief that we can do it.
I jokingly refer to us as cart before horse brewing company a lot because it's like, well, if you're ready, it's ready to package, and we're waiting on labels or cans, or it's always something. But it's not. There's just so many moving parts of the whole process, and but yeah, we do it because it keeps our brand relevant and gets exciting new beers out there for people to try.
Yeah, I was hanging out with my brother-in-law in Central Texas in the hill country there, and his name is Brett. And I saw your Brett's Get It On. I was like, well, that's a sign from the Almighty that this must be done. So let's get this beer and drink a lot of it. And that's a fantastic beer. But I have to ask, if a Brett beer, and then you have your lager. That used to be a big thing where people didn't want to mix different fermentations and things like that in the same facility. Has that, what is your approach there? Do you have a warehouse way out somewhere on the edge of your property just for the Brett beer? How does that go?
I mean, some Brettanomyces can make biofilms, and that's the main reason you want to keep Pediococcus and other organisms like that out of the brewery, is they can create biofilms in really tight spaces, especially packaging equipment. The fermenters are very easy to clean. There's no crevices as long as you have clean welds and all that. So I wasn't worried about using Brettanomyces and running it through our old canning line. However, since we got a new, much more advanced, larger rotary canning system, I said we're not going to can any Brett beer in this because it could be impossible to ever get it out of there, and there is the possibility of forming biofilms in it. But no, I mean, some brewers totally freak out. I mean, I propagate that Britannomyces in the same yeast propagation system that I propagate all of our clean beers, and it's a testament that to how clean my brewers are. We've been using the same lager strain at this point for 9 months, and we're about on month 11 for using Cali that we use in Mosaic, Citrus Slice. So we're repitching these every week for almost a year at this point, and it's a pure culture still. There's no contaminants in it.
You hear that, Kennedy? I don't know if Kennedy can talk again. I think we lost his voice. Are you still there?
No, I heard all that. Yeah.
Petacola, Michael Petacolis was in our cellar, and I had this enormous port pipe. It's like a 250-liter, longer port barrel. And he's like, "What's in that?" And I'm like, "Oh, this and that with Britannomyces mixed culture." And he's like, "You got this in your cellar?" And I'm like, "Oh, it's not gonna jump out of the barrel like in through the stainless steel, you know." But that's his approach, and he's their beers are clean, and he wants to protect that. And I get it, but it's just kind of like the bees and dogs, right? Don't let them smell your beard.
Yeah. Maybe Michael thought it was he takes that lawyer approach. The law says you do not put these in the same place. Kennedy, go, sir.
Yeah, I was just gonna say at my last homebrew club meeting, we had Bobby Harrell from Back Pew, and he just went on and on about yeast, and most of the talk went like straight over my head.
Yes, it's God trying to tell you sanitize more. I'm not saying that your beers. Well, yeah, I am. I'm saying that you. Never mind. Your homebrew. I think you're doing a great job.
There was one beer that was really bad. just one.
Okay. Anyway, just saying. I'm just saying. Listen to the professionals. That's all I'm saying.
I do.
Take advantage of being around the smartest people in the industry. That's all I'm saying.
I do.
Okay.
I do.
All right. I've got my second beer of the show. This is a new one from our friends here at St. Arnold. Their Juicy IPA. I have not tried.
Oh, you got the Juicy.
I did.
I haven't had that yet.
Neither have I. I'm about to try it.
Their brewmaster's watching. He just texted me a screenshot of us talking.
Okay. There you go. Well, I'm about to try this for the first time. So this is one of their newest ones they put out. So, there you go. I'll let y'all know. Can y'all smell it through the microphone? Anyway, I don't guess you can.
No.
Okay.
Really? And you're going to drink straight out of the can?
No, I'm pouring it into a glass.
Okay.
Into actually a St. Arnold.
What's wrong with that?
Is that bad?
It's 3 against 1 here.
Now, you got to understand something about Josh. He's very particular about glassware.
If you have the proper glassware.
Very particular about glassware.
If you have the proper glassware.
Honestly, I'm the same way. In a lot of circumstances where, you don't fully appreciate a beer for what it is and what it's intended to be without the proper glassware. I totally agree with that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And speaking of proper glassware, Josh, I just want you to see something really quick.
What's that? What we got? There you go.
Nice.
Nice. Yeah. I'm proud of you. I'm glad we're. It's every day.
I got proper glassware for my Mu Caliente.
That's the Mu Caliente is the one with the cinnamon, like a Mexican stout kind of cinnamon and chocolate and all that kind of good stuff.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Does that one have? That one has cayenne too, right?
Cayenne in it. Yeah.
Yeah. I love it.
We just wrapped up a Mexican chocolate stout here called Coco Bueno. Jamie can talk as far as the ingredients, but man, that beer killed it for us. It's awesome.
Had a lot of ingredients. 4 different chilies. Had pasilla, guajillo, chipotle, and habanero. Whole Madagascar vanilla bean, cinnamon, and chocolate, of course.
Yeah.
And a lot of ingredients in there. Pretty cost prohibitive, but very delicious.
Yeah. I love the mix of sweet and the spice. And And you need a little vanilla with your chocolate to make all the flavors pop. I don't know. Something about it. But let me just say that this juicy IPA from St. Arnold, quite juicy and delicious. And as they say, tropical and citrusy is right on the button. Anyway, it's good. It's good stuff. All right. Kennedy, how's yours? Did we lose everybody?
No, my beer?
Yeah.
My beer is fantastic.
Okay.
I love this beer.
All right. Cool. Who all? Go on.
The extra. I was gonna say the extra spice is like just perfect.
Yeah, I like it when the spice kind of sneaks up on you and then reminds you, when your throat's kind of sizzling there. It's a good feeling.
I wouldn't say it says. Did we lose them?
No, we're good, dude.
Oh.
I think they were just so captivated with our.
No, because we have issues. We have issues with Skype, and I guess you guys are just sitting perfectly still. It tends to freeze up a lot.
They're like you guys are the perfect Skype guest, but then it's like you have a second guest, and I was like, oh, they locked up. No, they were. So if you just
yeah, something since we haven't really. This has sort of been a one-way dialogue, but as consumers and people that are into beers, obviously, and follow trends. And what are you guys into these days? What styles are sort of piquing your interest? What do you find yourself drinking more of?
Kennedy, you want to go first on that one?
Yeah, currently I've been into a lot of stouts and porters lately. I usually tend to drink what I'm brewing, and I've been brewing a lot of porters and stouts. But now weather's starting to warm up a little bit, so I don't know. I'm thinking more. I want to do another lager. I'm really new at home brewing, and I've only done one lager, so I think that's in the future. But yeah, now I think I'm starting to get more into like the lagers and stuff like that, pilsners, things like that.
Yeah. Personally, I'm very much a circumstance drinker. Depends on the food or whatever's in front of me, what we're doing the rest of the day. Man, I tell you what, this past Sunday, we've got Go Caller. You're on Liquid Lunch.
Jamie's son is trying to FaceTime him right now.
We were at
just stick it up to the camera, and we'll all we can all be part of this.
We were at Lone Pint this past Sunday. We were there for almost 4 hours just hanging out. It was outside. It was just the best day. Like weather-wise, my girls were running around and just having a good time. And my wife and I were just enjoying beers. And one of our friends that lives near the brewery came over, and we sat and talked with them for another hour and a half. And I had their pale ale, and I was trying to go a little lower ABV if I'm out and about. That's always going to be one that I'm, something.
No.
Well, I have responsibilities, Kennedy. We can't just all fall asleep, where we're at. Who's that guy asleep on that table? Oh, that's Kennedy. Oh, that's okay.
Hey, your wife could drive. You'd be fine.
I was letting her. Okay, so she was having the gin barrel aged Tornado Shark, and
nice.
she was And that one, I tried it, and that one was delicious. I may be a fan. I don't know if I'm a fan of just gin barrel aged that beer or gin in general. I don't know. I'm not. I sing along with Snoop a lot, but I've not exactly gotten into gin a whole lot. But I don't know. Maybe
gin's only good with juice.
Well, that juicy, maybe a juicy IPA with gin. Or
maybe a little Indo, whatever that is.
I don't. This might be the Indo of our show. Anyway,
that flavor profile. It's certainly an interesting, addition to a beer. I've had a few gin barrel aged beers, and one that was done extremely well that I'll never forget. But that's the only one that really comes to mind. That was I think it was Breakside, actually, out in Portland. They did an Imperial Wit aged in gin barrels with kaffir lime leaves like a few years ago. I forget what it was called, but man, that was a fantastic gin barrel aged beer. But it'd be interesting to try something from Lone Pint that's aged in gin barrels. That's cool.
It was really, really good, and I don't, it just. I really do. I'm probably not the best one to ask, like trend wise. I see what people get excited about online and that sort of thing. And I mean, yes, I love the hazy, juicy IPAs and stuff, but the people that get online to talk about them you're way louder than I'm just not gonna. Yeah, I'm not gonna climb up on my roof and yell at people to drink them. I'm just gonna sit there and quietly drink my own. But I don't know. I mean, I like like when you talk about your lager and things like that. Sometimes it's like, yeah, I just need that. I need a crispy Pilsner. I need I don't know. But hey, now Hefeweizens are good this time of year too. And then I'm just too much of I'm all over the map. I don't know.
Yeah, usually when I go to a new brewery for the first time, the first beer I pick is a lager.
Yeah,
to see what they can do.
Yeah, that's good call. Same way.
Yeah, also, you know what? I'll say this. I don't know that I'm the majority at all. Probably not. But I do look for lower ABV stuff when I'm out and about, especially when it's earlier in the day. I tend to do more of my beer drinking earlier in the day since I work at night, and so you get it in when you can. So yeah, I will look for anything around like that 4%. If I see something like that has a lot of flavor, then that really makes my alarm go off of like, okay, this is something I could enjoy a little, a couple of, and still be able to go, do my job until midnight or whatever. So,
you should look out for kind of just released it. Our newer, like, essentially it's a low-cal IPA.
I saw that.
I don't even know how long ago we started with this idea, but you see the market trends start to happen where there's a lot of gravitation towards these, like, quote unquote, better for you, alcoholic beverages, whether that be like the seltzer game, which is something that we talked about and decided, confidently that we weren't going to mess around with, at least out in the market. But the idea was like, can you brew like a full flavored, hop forward, proper IPA that doesn't have all of the, the calories, carbs, and slightly lower alcohol content, which, years ago, the session IPA was sort of playing in that world.
Mm-hmm.
But Jamie developed this, after a lot of R&D and a lot of pilot batches. I don't know how many pilot batches you did, dude. But
yeah, so it kind of the project started tinkering around with the brute style, which love it or hate it. I decided I didn't like it. It's just missing something. Oh, it's missing the ball. But so I started using this. So it's an exogenous enzyme that breaks down larger chain sugars to make a beer more fermentable, essentially, than without the enzyme, and with just the enzymes that are naturally occurring in the malt. And so that project kind of turned into, how can I use this enzyme to dry the beer out a little bit more, but still leave some of the malt in there. So a lot of these brute IPA makers will add it in the fermentation, and it just completely dries the beer bone dry. Everything that's fermentable is fermentable. And that's what I really didn't enjoy myself. And this is all really selfish, right? It's like, what do I like? What does my team like? And so we did successfully figure out how to use it on the hop side. So in the mash, for a certain period of time, certain dosage rates, and then when you mash out, you destroy these enzymes, and so you kind of lock in a more fermentable wort, but it's not bone dry. And so that was the idea behind hop skinning. And then the challenge is always with these low alcohol beers, it's really tough to get the same hop character.
Yeah.
That you do. And like our Mosaic IPA, that's almost 9% alcohol. It's an excellent solvent, so it's really easy to get the most out of your dry hops and get all those essential oils infused into the beer. So we're using a combination of dry hopping, using all cryo hops. It's a concentrated form of hops from one of our suppliers of YCH. And also there's a new product called Incognito. It's a flowable hop extract. And so then the challenge is, how do you use any of this on the hot side and not just create a bitter ball? It's such a small beer, you got to balance that bitterness. And the very first production batch we made, it was the most bitter thing I'd ever tasted in my life. And so I kind of went over, I have so many great brewers and right-hand guys here at the brewery that I didn't oversee the exact application of this Incognito on the brew house the first time they brewed it. So anyway, they ended up like tearing apart a keg and making a little infusion vessel that we use in the whirlpool. I'm not going to give away all of our tips and tricks, but anyways, the subsequent batches are very balanced. It's got an awesome hop character. The bitterness is right where it should be, just barely noticeable. It's got a very, very forward hop character. I mean, you're drinking this 4 grams of carb with 95 calorie beer, and you're like, well, this tastes like an IPA. It doesn't taste just like hop water, you know. So we're pretty happy with that. But yeah, I think I R&D'd that beer more than any beer I've ever done in my life. It was talented.
Will that be distributed all across Texas? What's the footprint on that one?
Yeah, across the state, it's coming into spring now. You should start seeing it a lot more. We just rolled it out, sort of beginning of February in North Texas first, sort of Dallas Fort Worth area, but it's starting to get out there. So, and we're Jamie's still kind of. He actually just went to go grab one. Either got there to show you the can.
So we just had a question from one of our viewers about distribution in Houston, and I know we can get Texas Lager everywhere. I know we can get Mosaic IPA everywhere. What else do you guys have here?
Theoretically, I mean, you can find all of our beer in Houston. Of course, yeah. So that's Hop Skinny.
That's cool.
Like a bright blue and neon green colored can. The dude on the side with sunglasses.
Yeah.
But, so you can find
Nice. That's awesome.
You can find all of our beer in Houston. Obviously, it's a little bit more challenging. Some of the, a lot of the small batch beers we do, and the volume just isn't there. So like our small batch series, which is, I don't know how many different small batch beers we do, but everything from like double dry hop Mosaic IPA. We're coming out with a tequila barrel aged goza with cherry and orange, medical grade haze, which is our juicy IPA.
About every other month.
They're just, the volume is so small that when it goes out to, places like Dallas, Fort Worth, Houston, San Antonio, Austin, it goes so quickly. And so it appears like we don't send beer down there, but that's really not the case. And if any viewers have any questions as far as like specifics, like where can I find this beer, just hit us up, shoot us a note on any of either our website or any of our social media channels. Like our sales team is pretty awesome about getting specific information like immediately out. So yeah, you can find all of our beers in Houston for sure.
That's cool.
And I will say this: you guys are one of the best as far as like getting back to us on emails, responding and things like that. Because we get ghosted a whole lot, but you guys are awesome, and I appreciate it. Thank you.
We try. We try, man. At the end of the day, we give a shit. I mean, and I'm not saying that nobody else, like other brewers, don't, because everybody really does. You don't get into craft beer, for the money. That's for sure. You get into it because you're passionate, and so, whether it's on the brewing side or the email answering side, we really do. We care about our product and we care about our consumers, and we're, certainly very fortunate to have a loyal following, and we're not going to take that shit for granted. That's for damn sure.
Yeah. Well, in their defense too, they knew that the message was coming from Kennedy, so he gets ghosted by his mom. It's not just.
Now, come on, that's not. Well, okay, maybe that's true.
Okay. All right. Well, we know that you guys have a meeting to get to with I don't know, the president or the city council or something. I forget who it was. You said something. Some very important people, VIPs.
I thought it was the mayor.
All of them. They're all there.
Not that important.
So we'll let you guys go get to that and be about the business of the beer business. But thank you all so much for taking the time to be on our humble little show here, and thank you for all the delicious beers you're putting out, but for being a great guest today and for doing Dallas proud. And we'd love to have you back on anytime. So let us know when you get bored on a Thursday.
Yeah.
We've got plenty of exciting stuff in the pipeline, so we're happy to come back on, and certainly appreciate the opportunity and appreciate what you guys are doing, man. It's awesome to see guys like you that are helping to kind of I don't want to say preach the gospel, but at least, sharing the passion of what us and other craft brewers across Texas are doing, man. It's awesome.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us on, guys. Really appreciate it.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you guys have a great rest of your day, and tell Dallas we said hey if they didn't see it on the show. So tell the mayor we said hey.
Right on. Cheers, guys.
All right, everybody. Community Beer Company, Corey and Jamie up there making delicious beers. Kennedy, what do we do now? We just go to a 2-shot, and then I don't know what I do now.
Well, that was cool.
Yeah.
Now
we just have to wait for them to hang up and see what happens.
Just the awkward.
Let's see if we get knocked offline. Technically, this hasn't been our best show ever.
Yeah.
But
well,
we work with it.
Okay. There they go. Now we're.
All right.
I don't know what it looks like on your end.
I think we're still good.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was cool. That was really cool.
Yeah.
I'm always making Dallas jokes, and that's I'm going to keep doing that. But that was fun. That makes me want to they're good-natured jokes. I want to go up there and hang out at a Community Beer Company.
Well, that the whole Houston-Dallas rivalry is one-sided.
No, it's not.
Houston's the only one that thinks there's a rivalry.
No, that's not true.
Dallas is just above it.
That's not true. Listen, it's like the great Dr. Phil said, it doesn't matter how flat you make a pancake, there's always two sides. He's a Texan. He knows what he's talking about. So it doesn't matter how flat you make a rivalry, there's still two sides to it.
Okay. Whatever.
All right. Was there something? I feel like there was something else we needed to talk about. Real quick.
Well, real quick, I'm going to next week.
Mm-hmm.
Is it too early to talk about what we're doing next week?
No, I think we're close enough to the end of the show where people are already anticipating next week.
Okay.
Are we going to be back
next
in
week,
the studio together?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
If the coronavirus hasn't taken hold in your household.
Yeah, or yours.
Well, we're not going to do the show over here.
I know that, but
I will say, my internet sucks.
Well, you look good on the Skype call. Is that the problem, though?
No, I don't. I mean, I don't know if it's mine or not, but this wasn't. Yeah, technically, it's not what I like.
Okay. Well, after the apology,
but the option was not doing the show or have a technically better show. But
I'll say the audio sounded good. So, if somebody needs to go back and listen to the podcast, or when they do, we have a lot of people that subscribe just to the audio podcast. Yes, so the audio sounds good. So.
Oh, well, I hope it sounded good because it sounded like balls in my ear.
Oh, well, it could be the balls in your ear. The literal earball, your earballs. Anyway, yeah. What's next week? What do we need to talk about next week?
So next week we're going to have Fortress Beer Works from Spring, Texas.
Woo!
They will be our guests. They are coming up on their 1-year anniversary.
I can't believe it's already been a year.
Yeah, it's been 1 year, so we'll be talking to John for sure, and we'll see if anybody else joins them.
Okay.
I need to get with them to see if we're going to actually be there to do the show or Skype. I'm assuming it's going to be Skype though.
Okay. Well, we'll figure all that out. But either way, we'll be talking to them, so that's good. I have to do a little shameless self-promotion. Yesterday, I recorded an episode with Huggy Bear and Anne Marie at Local Group Brewing. Their grand opening is coming up on the 21st. And they have a fantastic spot now right down there in the heart of Houston. So if you're going to a Astros game, or if you're just down in that area, they have a full restaurant. You can watch them right there make even their hamburger buns are all handmade, and they have these huge pretzels and stuff. Then you can watch them all make them right there in the window and everything. And just fantastic crew. Their whole crew is just going to be so good. And then of course Huggy Bear making beer that is going to be good. So. If you haven't been out there for their soft opening, grand opening on the 21st. What's up?
No, I was going to say, I will probably be out there probably Friday.
Yeah. It's
Julie and I haven't been yet, so Friday is probably a good day to go.
Yeah, it's a cool spot. And this time of year with the weather, you could eat outside, dog and kid friendly. So you can take your dog. They have a window on the outside patio if you have your dog with you or your kids and you want to leave them outside. You can just walk up to the outside window to order beers. You have to go inside and all that kind of stuff. So just real convenient.
Do they have a place to tie up a leash?
Yes.
for your kids.
Yes, all of
If you
that.
want to leash your kids, you can just.
Huggy Bear said he would watch your kids for you. I'm just kidding.
I
but-
doubt he said that.
Hey, you know what? Whether he did or not, you'll have to listen to the latest episode of Interbrews. Hopefully dropping either tonight or tomorrow, episode 233. So he and Anne-Marie.
If he gets stuck watching your kids, I'm sure they're going to end up with. He's probably going to load them up full of candy and probably give them a puppy.
Yeah, I don't know, but that's a cool spot. So that's a little Houston thing. After all our Dallas talk, just because it was in the forefront of my mind, and did that episode yesterday. So
Yeah,
anyway,
that's cool. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Huggy Bear does great beers.
Yes, he does. And they've been really dialing it in over the last year and a half or so. So there you go. Also, be on the lookout around. If we're talking about Houston area, be on the lookout for all the Daisy Chain beers as well. That's going on. People releasing those. So just be watching social for that kind of stuff. And what else? Anything else?
Well, I have a question for you, sir.
What?
How was the Juicy IPA?
Oh, juicy. It's like it has the label. I don't have the description here in front of me, and I would like to talk to somebody from St. Arnold to give all the deets. But they it says tropical and citrusy, and that is spot on. It kind of reminds me of like an orange creamsicle almost, like that much like citrus and juice and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, it's pretty darn good. Like actually really
I just had my first sip of this barley coherent.
How is that? I've got that over there, but I went with the juicy IPA.
Man, it is. So we had this on the show a few weeks ago, and we never got to it.
Yeah.
But it's been sitting in my refrigerator, and I just now had it. And it is fantastic.
Yeah.
Hold on, I'm about to sneeze.
Okay. Do it the other way. You can keep that microphone so that. Bless you. Yeah,
I'm okay now.
good. I had a couple other beers over here just in case, ready. But one I wanted to point out was I found it was a good deal on the Stone IPA, and the reason I grabbed that last night, one, it's a good beer, but two, if we're gonna all be staying inside more, the Beer Jesus of Germany or whatever about Greg Cook's venture into Berlin, trying opening up a brewery south of Berlin. That documentary is on Amazon Prime. And
That's cool.
It's a really interesting story. I don't know. It's to see somebody try to do that in the way he did it. The way just it's knowing the outcome.
I've been to Berlin, and like their brewery game is not that great, surprisingly.
Well, that's kind of why. That was the catalyst, I think, for what he did. But it might have been his. I don't know if I had to put if I had to pinpoint it. It's like the American brash approach.
Yeah.
That I don't think the Germans were. I think they were, already looking for it, and he kind of lived up to it. And I don't know if it plays as well there as it does here. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Like their beers are really good, and people that were trying it, they were baffled because these beers that Stone makes are way different than what they typically get in Berlin. So I don't know.
Now I think it's not Stone. There is a brewery. Oh God, I think it's American, or it could be English, that they have in Berlin.
Well, spoiler alert: BrewDog.
Yeah, it's BrewDog.
Yeah, they took over the.
It's
That was
BrewDog.
the Stone.
It's BrewDog.
They took over the Stone location, but I thought they were still running it as Stone Berlin. I don't know. It was a few beers into watching that documentary when that part came out, but anyway.
I should probably watch that.
Yes, totally worth it. Totally worth it. And there's quite a few other little beer documentaries and stuff on there on Amazon Prime. Which also, speaking of Amazon, if you use the liquidlunchshow.com/Amazon link to order all your toilet paper and things you need for the Corona apocalypse, then
Oh God,
we'll get a
Let's
little
not-
kickback. Anyway,
Before we get into toilet paper, I just want to say hi to. Oh crap! It just moved up. Abe Hernandez.
hey.
Joining us live from El Paso, Texas.
Oh, hey, Abe. out in the
Yeah.
West Texas town of El Paso.
Yeah, I was there once.
Yeah.
I fell in love with never mind.
All right. I like the El Paso City song. Was that Marty Robinson? Is that it? Marty Robinson? Love that song.
Yeah.
Anyway, well, speaking of heading west, like a sunset,
Yeah.
you're gonna have to. I don't know how much you're gonna be able to talk with this music. We'll see.
It's
Is it over?
oh my God, that is loud.
Is it? Okay.
Very loud.
Oh.
Very loud.
Okay. I don't know how to turn it down on your end. I'll just talk here for the next.
I can't hear a thing you're saying over the music.
Oh, well, sorry. All right. What if I turn it all the way down? Eh?
Move those.
No?
Move it down. Move it down. Way down. Way down.
How about that?
Keep going.
How about that?
Well, now I can't hear it.
How about that?
But it almost blew my ears out.
Yeah. I don't know why I did that. But anyway,
Okay.
to everybody, that's all right. I don't know how it sounds to people streaming right now, but on the podcast, it'll sound way better. So go back and download the podcast, play that, and watch the video. And it'll sound really good. But
So if the audio is good on your side, I might have you send me that for the rear.
okay, I can do that.
Yeah.
All right.
Because I don't know. This setup we're doing right now, it needs a little tweaking.
Yeah, well, yeah, you're right. It does need a little tweaking, but we'll work on that.
Just a little tweaking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks everybody who tuned in today. Part of this whole thing as we get through interesting times in life right now, and I don't know. We'll see how this whole thing turns out. You know, no more rodeo, no more NBA basketball, but all the beers are there, and you know, Kennedy and I are here for you too. So if we need to step up our game and stream 7 days a week just to get everybody through it, we can do that, right?
Now, technically, the NBA season isn't canceled; it's suspended.
Well, whatever. Okay, so we'll see what happens there. But anyway, thanks for Abe and Philip and who else did I see? Jeffrey, and who else did I see jump on there?
Philip.
See Matt and Philip.
Philip.
Yeah.
Can't forget about Philip.
Thought I said Philip. Didn't I say Philip? Anyway, thanks to Philip and everybody else that jumped on. Who else did I see today? I saw a handful of people as I was looking down. Mark. Hey, Mark and Tom. There. Cool. Yeah. All kinds of people jumping on today. And Davin. There you go. Thanks, man. And Kennedy, good job today. Despite the challenges of the internets. Thanks to Corey and Jamie at Community Beer Company there in Dallas. Thanks to everybody in Dallas for tuning in this time. You got good beers up there to be proud of. Thanks to Southern Star and St. Arnold on my end for providing the beers that I drank today. Go get you some Strawberry Blonde or some Juicy IPA, the new Juicy IPA from St. Arnold.
And I'm going to thank Southern Star and Eureka Heights and obviously Community Beer Company.
Yeah,
for making a great chugging beer.
Yep.
According to you, that was only the second time I've been able to complete a chug.
Hey, you're getting better. It's the angle of your neck. But anyway, we'll wrap here because it's the music's almost out. But thank you to everybody. If you need to, obviously remember we're available on podcast anywhere you want to stream, and we appreciate you listening and being a part of the show. Also, don't forget, go buy somebody a beer. You know, as best you can. Get out there and in these times.
While we're still allowed to leave the house before coronavirus keeps us in forever.
There you go. Bye, everybody. Say bye, Kennedy.
Bye, Kennedy.